and she by herself has promoted several women entrepreneurs to be on their own. She has got several companies in India, US, Singapore, where she exited successfully. Now she is dedicating herself to build wonderful startup ecosystem in the country. So I actually Adi Mehtaji to deliver her talk.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shiva. Good afternoon, everyone. Very big thank you to Andhra Pradesh State Council of Higher Education as well as SKU for organizing this event to celebrate the role of entrepreneurs in building Atmanirbhar Bharat today on the eve of the World Entrepreneurs Day. For me, entrepreneurship has been the biggest tool of empowerment that I have personally seen in my own life, as well as I have seen making a difference in many, many millions of lives since I've moved into the ecosystem of nurturing entrepreneurship in India as well as globally in the ecosystem. So, why do I find entrepreneurship so empowering, and why did I move after 22 years of my own journey, starting from Silicon Valley as an entrepreneur, selling my first company there, starting my second company in Singapore, and then in India? What made me shift from being an entrepreneur to now helping entrepreneurs reach their goals? It's simply been because I have seen the power of this tool of entrepreneurship on how it can change lives, how it can make people happier, how it creates innovative solutions for the society, and it can help the nation to create very strong building footsteps, building bricks for making sure that it creates a robust economy for everyone. So I'm going to talk about entrepreneurs' role in an economy as well as what can help individuals who want to move into becoming an entrepreneur, how it can help them in their own personal journey. So for me, I started my entrepreneurial journey after being in a corporate job for 2 years. I realized that it was, to me, entrepreneurship happened by accident. I saw an opportunity, I jumped into it, and it just worked out for me. And I sold my company within the first 3 years of starting it. I didn't plan for it. What it did was gave me confidence. It gave me a way to establish my roots in a new country that I had started to call home, which was in the USA. It allowed me to bring something that was a very unique skill set of mine into the ecosystem, and it helped me to bring that skill set to become my unique selling proposition. And people saw that, so they wanted to endorse the product or the service, and it was very easy to sell and build. As an entrepreneur, what we do is we don't just create an ecosystem for ourselves where we are working on something that's important for us. We create an ecosystem for the entire society. And how we do that is because we start to build jobs. We start to create employment. That's one of the biggest merits of entrepreneurship. Instead of becoming job seekers, we become job givers. And when we become job givers, we are creating something unique because we are creating livelihoods for people who then depend on us for their well being. As an entrepreneur, we give wings to something that we think is absolutely unique to us and we believe in. During COVID, we saw a lot of home entrepreneurs started to push on, whether it was for home bakery, whether people started to do home cloud kitchen, people started to create medicinal care for others, who were COVID patients. How did that happen? It doesn't differentiate a person because of their caste, because of their creed, because of their color, their language, the ability to speak English, or even the education that they have had. It puts you in an equal platform because all you need to be a successful entrepreneur is simply a will, your drive, and an idea that you know you want to make successful. Most of the entrepreneurial ideas come out of adversity. or an institutional void that we see around us. We see that there are potholes on the roads. We see that there is a huge traffic, breakdown in our society, in the nation. Somebody will stand there and say, this doesn't work. Something has to be worked for it. We have to make the road conditions more favorable, more safe for the individuals. And they'll come up with an idea that creates road safety measures. And that's where a startup idea is born. And it starts to change the way the nation starts to foster. How many of us ever thought that in our lifetime we will see these amazing, beautiful airports? That when we land into India, we feel a sense of pride. We feel that, we are at par with any other developed nation in the world, whether it's US or Singapore. Today, when I land in India, I have this sense of utmost pride because I think our airport is even more beautiful than any other airport that I've seen in the world, and I've traveled a lot. And what makes it so? Vision of entrepreneurs. Vision of entrepreneurs. And an entrepreneur can be a politician, an entrepreneur can be an educationist, an entrepreneur can be a civilian, an individual, a student, a woman, anybody. Just with a cause and a purpose that I want to change things around me. I want to make things better around me. And how do I do it? It can be in the agriculture sector. It can be in the education reform sector. It can be in the sector to create employment in the rural areas. It can be in the sector to simply create better products for the society. Look at Amazon. Look at Flipkart. Look at Facebook. These all started with the journey or the vision of one person who started their work from a garage. I'm a garage startup story. My first company, I actually started out of my garage in Silicon Valley. Till the time I validated my idea and I said, you know what, it has huge potential. I think people will buy because I see that there's a gap in the market and there's nobody serving it. And it's a very fine gap. So can I plug myself into this gap and give people what they need for their health and wellness needs? Give people a way to stay fit in a manner that they are drawn to it. That they don't say, oh my God, I have to wake up today and go to the gym, but they look forward to going because they love it. Can I create a community of people where I bring people together because they enjoy doing something and have a common interest and benefit from it? End of the day, what is the goal of every entrepreneurial idea? How do I benefit my society from the work that I'm doing? And in the society, we include everyone, whether it's people in the rural areas, in the urban areas, or people who are just buying your products and finding some convenience out of it. That's how we define society. And that's what entrepreneurship does. A lot of times it comes out of adversity. Somebody is looked, you see so many examples. People have been looking for a job. You look at Jack Ma's. He applied for a job so many times. He went for interviews and he was the last person, the only person who was not accepted for that job. And it creates that drive that, God, I'm not getting a job. What do I do with my life? That's an adversity in your life. And that pushes you to think, okay, if nobody is giving me a job, can I create revenue or wealth for my own self by doing some work that I'm capable of doing? It could be something as small as becoming a plumber, but being in the best in the job that you do. No work is small or big. I started my journey, so I'm in MBA. I had a great salary package in a corporate. I left all of that and I started my journey as a in the health and fitness space. And my parents said the first thing to me, why would you leave such a coveted job to do this? What money are you going to earn? But what I realized after 22 years of running that company is, it's not about how small we think that particular service is. What we have to think is, what can I do in this particular area that I can create a global conglomerate out of it? It's about your vision. And I tell this to every entrepreneur that I mentor, every learning and development session that I host, that our job is not to think small. Don't think, how am I going to just serve Andhra Pradesh, or how am I going to just serve Hyderabad or some city, from day one you have to think, how do I go global? Your name has to speak global. Your work has to speak global. You have to think global. And only then can you create an amazing vision for your company. If you are a plumber, can you create a global conglomerate where you are providing certified plumbing technicians around the world, and you're creating a conglomerate of safe, certified technicians that know their job no matter what's required? So that any government, any home, any person who needs these services will only think of your company when they are looking for a plumber. And you can make something as small as you think, oh, you're just a plumber, into a global business. Something like fixing mobile phones. You can create a complete global arm of it where you can have registered offices, technicians taking care of mobile phone repair. And a company in the US has done that. They started off with simply repairing Apple products because they knew that these products are so expensive. And in the US, it's so hard to find someone to repair it. So if they go bad, they just get thrown. And you spend so much money on it. So they came up with a business idea that we will create certified technicians who can repair any Apple products. And today they are the certified technicians for any Apple products certified by Apple. And today they are present in 46 countries across the world, and maybe more now from the last that I read about them. This is how a small vision out of a dormitory of a university stands today, just simply repairing gadgets and mobile phone products, not making mobile phones, but repairing it, and being present in so many countries and having multi-million-dollar turnover. So it all is about a vision. And we are all here in this ecosystem as educationists, as incubators, as mentors, as learning and development experts, to help our startups understand the importance of thinking big. Even if you work from one desk in a small corner of a dorm or your own room, the world doesn't have to know that you're a single person working. You have to create that vision where the world thinks that yes, this person is doing something really big and great. And the beauty today is that after COVID, we all have learned that we can create big impact even working in a remote scenario. So you could be sitting in a small city or a small village with a vision and a laptop and a mobile phone and running a multi-million-dollar business straight from your one room apartment and doing it and managing your teams, hiring the best people from around the world, because now remote working is the way to be. The other most beautiful thing about being an entrepreneur is entrepreneurs are creative because they are driven by their vision of doing something that they love to do. It's very easy for them to adapt and pivot. And that's why I tell everyone, make sure your idea is not driven simply because, oh, EdTech today is getting a lot of funding, so let me do a EdTech business. You may get there, you may start an idea, but you will not be able to innovate and be very creative in pivoting because that's not something that comes out of you from your heart. It's come out of you because you're simply there to make a profit. If you are doing something that you love, that comes out from your heart, and you're starting to develop it because you think that this is something that makes me feel alive, that gives me joy when I do it, that I lose complete sense of time when I'm coding and 12 hours go by because I'm trying to code and get this product out. I don't feel hungry. I don't feel the need to go to the bathroom. I don't feel the need to call my parents. I don't need to feel the need to meet friends because I'm doing something that I absolutely love. When you are in that space, you're creating magic. You're being unstoppable and limitless in what you can give to the world. And that's when you're creating solutions that will help the world. And that's when challenges come. So for a lot of companies during COVID, it was a very tough time, especially for entrepreneurs, because we anyways work with very limited resources. We have limited people who work with us. We have limited money. And to pull through that time where we didn't know whether we're going to get our next customer, when we didn't know whether we're going to get funding, how we are going to pay for the electricity bill or the mobile phone bill, or how will I pay for the salaries of my employees. At that time, I saw, being in the ecosystem, how entrepreneurs came together forward, how they showed their resilience and they pivoted. They pivoted overnight because they wanted to survive. Because as an entrepreneur, your only drive is, I will not fail. I have to survive no matter what I do. Even if it means sweeping my floors on my own, I will do it because I need to keep going on. Companies pivoted. And I will tell you the example of how I pivoted. So like I was telling you, I'm into health and wellness space. So a lot of my work is I work with corporates, I work with a lot of governments around the world, and I run these wellness programs for the employees, right? And most of my programs are delivered in person. So I have instructors in Singapore, in US, I'm here in India, and we deliver these. Now, what we realized during COVID, there were no companies that were having people come to office. No corporate retreats were happening. All the work was shutting down. I couldn't even run my own personal classes because I couldn't get people to come together in a public space. And I couldn't live with the fact that, oh my God, I have to spend a day of not delivering what I love to deliver. This is my oxygen. It makes me feel alive when I do these classes. So what did I do? I sat down and I said, you know what? I have to find a way to continue on. What did I do? I pivoted. I moved to online classes. I got in touch with all my corporates around the world and I said, you know what? A lot of you have always wanted me to deliver these sessions for you. And, you know, because of the geographical conditions and boundaries, I send my instructors. But now I can make myself available to you. Instead of doing 1 hour sessions, because it's online and we need to keep more focus and we need to keep it short so that people who are having bandwidth issues don't get distracted, we will change it to half an hour sessions over Zoom. Whatever you're paying me, I used to charge by the person. I said, I'm going to charge a flat fee and you can have up to 100 people join the session. So what happens is the cost of per employee goes down considerably. I gave them incentives to come and try online. And I said, I will run these sessions for you myself. Whether you're in Europe, whether you're in US, whether you're in Australia, whether you're in Asia, I will work out according to your time zones and do it. I set up a studio in my own garage. Back to basics, how I started. I put up my Apple, my Mac, big screen. I set up a video camera. I set up microphones so that the entire experience was seamless, good bandwidth. And for 2 years, I continued to deliver programs online. Not one day of shutting down. And why did that happen? Because of my zeal. Because I knew that I had to change something. I had to adapt to continue on. And that's what entrepreneurs do. We show resilience, we show creativity. And that's in us, that's inborn in us. That's a natural skill and talent every entrepreneur just has. That we can come up with creative solutions in the face of the most extreme adversity and challenge. And we find ways to solve problems because that's what we do. That's core of our being. And we do things that nobody else can because we are entrepreneurs, because we are built that way. We put our work above and beyond just profits. We put our work above everything because our work not just gives us money, but it gives us joy. And we realize that's more important than anything else. That sense of satisfaction that comes from delivering a beautiful table that you've created yourself with your own idea, with your own design, cannot match money that is just given to you, because after a point, money is just a number in the bank. It is all about the satisfaction that you're getting from what you do. And that's why entrepreneurs are a set of people who, while they are constantly burning out, because we are working more than any average individual does, because our mind is 24/7 on work time. We are constantly thinking, what's next? How do I do this better? How can I sell this in the global market? How do I get my next revenue? How do I get the next big contract? Mind is continuously working. But that mind is supported by this creative inflow that keeps our body healthier and keeps us alive. And that is why you see people who work for themselves, they never retire. Even at the age of 92, you see them going to their shop, going to their office. Why? Because their mind is still working in a way that anybody else who says I retired at 60, their mind can't work. Because we are continuously innovating. We are continuously generating something beautiful. Because that's what a habit has become. And in all of this, I personally want to take 10 minutes to talk about two of the most important elements that I have faced being a woman is woman entrepreneurship. The beauty of it. For us to make our nation independent, to make our nation diverse, to bring equality of all kinds in our nation, the most important thing is to further women entrepreneurship. Women for a long time, whether you call it because of self-limitation or because of the limitations posed by the society, brilliant women have stayed home, not being able to function, not being able to pursue their career, whether it is in the job market, whether it's in a corporate, because we have many crossroads in life that we find ourselves standing. And all of you will attest to it. If you're a woman, you'll be able to resonate with me. If you're a man, you'll be able to see it because you've seen your wives, your mothers, your daughters go through the same thing. We go through marriages. Maybe our husband takes up a job somewhere else, and we feel that whatever we are educated to work in, that job is not available in that arena. So we take a career break. Sometimes we are working and we take a career break in motherhood because we want to take care of our little ones, because we by default naturally are nurturers. And we put that before everything else, that I need to take care of my children, my family. We take a break sometimes to take care of aging parents, elder parents, right? So there are a lot of crossroads we come across where we are compelled to take career breaks if we are in the corporate. And what I feel for women can work wonderfully is entrepreneurship. Because no matter which crossroad you are in, and I say it with my own example, I have moved 3 countries. I have moved 5 cities with 2 small children in tow. When I moved to Singapore, when I moved from US to India, I had 1 child who was 18 months old. When I moved from India to Singapore, I had 2 children, 2.5 years old and 4 months old. I have not stopped working for a single day in my entire 22 years of career. Entrepreneurship has given me the flexibility to scale down when I felt that I needed to spend more time on other activities at home, in raising my children, in taking care of my house, or to move a country. The time when I felt that I had more time because my children were older, because I had more help, I had an ecosystem that was helping me to take care of other things, I scaled my work. I scaled my business. So entrepreneurship gives women flexibility to do more, to do less, to widen, to do how, simply because they can do it on their own. And that is why I'm such a big advocate of entrepreneurship for women, because it can allow women to continue pursuing something that they have educated themselves to do, something that they are good at doing, to maintain their economic and financial independence, to continue to serve their purpose of life by simply following an entrepreneurship model. And if we start to foster this, if we start to encourage this in our economy, in our nation, in our own states, we will see that one section of the society that has pretty much been what I would say dependence that we call, right? Because they are homemakers, they're not really making money, they are there, they're just taking care of the house because we don't have salaries that are given to homemakers. This section of the society can become a very strong economic contributor to our nation. They can add to the GDP of the nation in their own way. They will become job creators to many, many other women. Because women, by the nature of their being, we tend to be supporting other women. And we have a very strong sense of empathy when we work because we understand the challenges. If one of my female instructors comes and tells me, Nidhi, I'm unable to take this corporate workshop because my child is not well, I understand. I don't penalize them. I don't penalize their performance evaluation because she was unable to show up. But you know what I will do? I'll say, no worries, you take care of your child. I will step up for you. I will go and do that workshop myself. Because I have empathy, because I know I've gone through the same things. So women can create businesses that are really nurturing, that affect the society in a positive way, because we are not just driven by only money, profits, and how big do I want to be, but we are driven by a higher purpose of impact. What value am I creating through my work? And how can I make this work more holistic for myself? And I tell you this because I say that entrepreneurship is a tool that gives you joy because you're doing something that you love to do. That's how the idea comes up. Every time when I work with students or women or entrepreneurs to build a winning idea, I run this workshop. It's called the Ideation Quadrant, where I work with them to help them come up and hone in on idea, which is based on their skill sets, their interests, their hobbies, and what they think their strengths are. So ultimately, what are you doing? You're bringing together something that you think you're good at, something that you love to do, and then build an idea based on that, which means that you enjoy doing what you are coming up with an idea as your idea, which means that you're a happy person when you're doing it. When I am teaching a wellness class, when I am seeing one of my clients lose weight, get healthier, be able to run 5 kilometers without panting and puffing and coming back to me and saying, Nidhi, I feel so good. I feel fit. I feel energized. I feel I can pass the whole day without feeling the need for a nap or without feeling the need that, oh my God, my energy is sapped and I need to take some vitamin pill for it. When I see them saying it, it gives me joy. And you know, when I am joyful, everyone around me is happy because I'm a happy person. A woman has touch points in so many areas of their life. When you come home after a day's work and your wife is there, if she is grumbly, if she is unhappy, she's going to take out her frustration on you. She will take out the frustration on the house help. She will take out the frustration on the children. Will that make you happy? No. Will that make the children happy? No. But if she is a happy woman and she greets you with a smile and she's happy, she's happy with the children, she's happy with the house help, she's happy with your parents, it will make your life happy. It will make so many lives happy. So to keep a woman happy is prime importance for the government. And the government can do that by making sure that they give these women a sense of purpose and self-worth. And that can really, really make a difference to our entire nation. So on this Entrepreneurship Day, I would just like to say this, that as entrepreneurs, as educators, as governments, as people who have the privilege to influence, to make policies that can change things, we have to come together to think, how do we nurture the ecosystem where we are furthering existing entrepreneurs to become better, to accelerate, to meet their business vision and goals? How do we create an ecosystem where we can help those who don't even have an idea, who don't even know what they want to do with their life, but they want to do something. There's an inkling, I want to do something more with my life. How do we give them the tools, the education, the skill sets to generate an idea and then build on that by incubating them? How do we create entrepreneurship, ignite entrepreneurship at a very young age in students? Yes, Atal Tinkering Lab is a big step. But how do we create robust programs, good mentors and good deliverers, educationists who can run these programs? Just setting up a lab is not enough. To empower that lab to run effectively and do what they are actually meant to do is important. Because a lot of the labs I see don't have the right people who can teach or who can run programs. So they become defunct. They are not effective. How do we bring this one genre of neglected section from our society, which is our homemakers, to come in the forefront and become nano and micro entrepreneurs who are contributing to the GDP of our nation and becoming the forebearers of changing the way things are done in our country? How do we create purpose, independence, self-worth for women? How do we empower refugees around the world to become entrepreneurs so they are no more biased or discriminated because of their color, because of their last name, because of the way they look, because of the country they came from, because of their migration status? But we empower them through entrepreneurship to start their own businesses so they gain economic independence, they can establish their roots in a new country, and instead of being guests in that country, they can become contributors to their host economy who has brought them together. And on that note, I want to say that as entrepreneurs, we all need to pat ourselves on the back because we are doing a great job. We are doing something that most other people only think, but they are scared to take that step because entrepreneurship is not easy. Entrepreneurship is a very long road. And at the end of the tunnel, we don't know what's out there for us, but it's our resilience. It is our belief in ourselves. It is our belief in a cause that keeps us going on that road. Sometimes we are left with no money. Sometimes we have no employees. And we are left to do everything on our own. And I've gone through that every time I've started a company 3 times in a row. I've started with one person show, solo entrepreneur. And then I've built the company hiring 50 people, 40 people, whatever it is, training them, empowering them, delegating them to become decision makers. Empowering them when they wanted to start on their own business. I've been their mentors. And we all can do that. All we have to do is, we have to believe in ourselves and the nation has to believe in us, which has started. And incubators like SKU, which is doing such an amazing job. I actually started my journey moving from an entrepreneur to an entrepreneurship trainer through SKU. I emailed Shiva and he called me, and he's been one of my biggest, he's really helped me in my journey. And I want to thank him publicly today because he believed in me, even though I was taking a very different step. I've been a successful entrepreneur, but now I was in a field where I wanted to educate people, where I wanted to mentor. And I didn't have a track record, but he believed because he believed that I wanted to make an impact. And when we spoke, and I always call on him to brainstorm and sometimes tell him, Shiva, I need more work. Sometimes I feel disappointed that I have a few hours open and I don't have enough work. And then he tells me, he gives me ideas. He says, Nidhi, we can do this. You can do this for us. And I love it because I believe that people like him help others to reach their goals. And that's what we need in every government employee, every politician, every educationist, to empower others. On that note, happy Entrepreneurship Day, and thank you so much for listening to me today.